There we go. So, this is an upcoming map. I believe it is called Canal. If you want to find it, here it is. EGC-Canal is how you'll get your hands on it yourself. This should be appearing in the Golden League 2, if I'm not mistaken, which starts on, I believe it's around the 10th or 11th of February. I think it's the second weekend. But cool to see new maps again. Quite nice and refreshing. Always love how EGC are always trying to incorporate new maps that haven't been used before. This one is somewhat familiar. I swear I saw kind of an iteration of this a long time ago. Love the complete shallow, right? Like there's no shoreline fish here, if I'm not mistaken. But it should stop you maybe... I don't think it even stops you constructing. You just want to get into the center though. And you can see why. Because by design, it seems like there is a prioritization on shoreline fish towards the center, which is why you're seeing both players immediately play out there. However, look at the matchup we've got here. Ottomans versus Delhi. On a map where you want to be water prio and you have to naturally build this close together, I can't help but feel that Delhi might have a slight edge with some sort of fishing boat pull, which would be impressive because we don't see that, right? It's very rare that we see that these days. Beastie is going to try to put a stop to it. Oh, the timing on this. The timing could not be much worse. Apologies, I need to put my observing back on. Disrupting the flow for you guys. But check this out. Vision-wise, Wham! Oh my god, he went for the safe shoreline fish. So he's probably not going to see this wall going up at all. Which is unfortunate for him if so. I mean, the scout is wrapping around now. Can't help but feel this is going to go unnoticed. Now, that's very important, right? Because you are paranoid. You're up against a Delhi player. You know that they can pull the fishing boats. And although it's not as painful as it once was, although, you know, it seemed kind of irrelevant for the most, still a little bit of damage going your way. And eyeballs are now on it, but a little bit too late, I think. Yeah, no way for him to stop the walls going up. So great move from Beastie. Really important he does this, remember. His fishing boats do not have any attack. The Delhi ones do. It's very difficult to do the aggro move as a Delhi player quickly, though, right? Typically, if you want to try to aggress your opponent with fishing boats, because of the passive healing around the docks, you probably need like 7. And you need to make sure that you shut down all their economy, because the reality is, even if you do have enough damage to start killing fishing boats, you're dragging 7 of your own fishing boats away from being eco units for you. Which is why usually a follow-up move is that the player will move forward with another villager and build a dock next to his enemy's one. But in this situation, that's not going to be happening, courtesy of Beastie blocking him off. We haven't really checked the starting spawn areas, right? This very small pocketed wood behind your base is all you get. By design, it's not too bad because it should be very hard to outpost rush this. I wouldn't say it's impossible, though. Like, you can see, for example, for both players, they have a resource exposed, right? Where you can sneak in an outpost here between stone or wood on one side or golden wood on the other. But it's going to be very difficult to achieve. Not really sure we're going to see much of it. And obviously, if you want to make that play, you'd have to pick Mongols anyway. So probably people just focus more around the riverfront, because even if you're picking Mongols on this map, the fact that there's shoreline fish to deny is probably better value than trying to block out the wood line back at home. Just checking the sacred sites as well. 4 sacred? Whoa. Okay. But by the way, I haven't checked this map before. Like this, I saw they were playing. I was like, I haven't seen this yet. So it seemed like a prime opportunity to check it out. So this has 4 sacred sites, which explains a lot why Wham has picked the Delhi, right? Like, obviously, you have the ability to get a little bit of fishing value. Any Civ can do that. But the 4 sacred sites is a ring dinger. Especially considering that you should be able to easily yoink 2 of these, as your opponent will probably have to focus the other side of the map. I'm curious to see what beast you can do. I mean, the Ottomans has kind of been seen as this Civ that could kill the Delhi, at least on the previous patch. I felt like most of the matchups I watched, the Delhi's feudal timing got completely obliterated by the way that the Ottomans played it. Off the back of that movement speed, that attack speed, that passive reduction, allowing them to just kind of ensure that in situations where Delhi would usually pull away and heal their units, they don't get an opportunity to. But of course, as we know, the Delhi function very differently now, right? This is now a Civ that thrives in Castle Age and beyond. It's not about that early game anymore. So I'm curious to see what Wham is going to have in mind. He's getting into the efficient production. So we're only a few minutes in. Of course, Sanctity hasn't been prepped at all. Need to get teched up first, and we are going to be going up with the Dome of Faith. The other side, it is still going to be the Twin Minaret Madrissa. A little bit surprising here, considering that this map does have trade posts to the north and south. So that could have been an option, especially considering you've got food on the water side. Just feels like most people tend to go for the Minaret Madrissa, so they have a backup option in case things go wrong. Someone asking, are we sure this is how the map is supposed to look? This is the one that's been uploaded to the pop of EGC. Not sure what the concerns are. But I'm a little bit concerned about this, the dot going up. Now, think about this. This is very smart by Wham. There's literally no way that Beastie can stop this from occurring. And his only move, I think he's going to do it. Yeah, he's going to mirror it. He's going to go for a dock drop himself, but this won't work, remember. He's playing against the Deli. Oh, wow. He's going to try to go for the outpost. He's just out of range. That's good for him. However, this dock is going to be a problem. Think about the value here. Even if you just insta-push demo ships out, probably you want to go for the sprawl first. Remember, tech up-wise, Wham's already got an advantage. He's going to be up an extra 10 seconds. Especially considering he used 5 people compared to the 4 of Beastie. Beastie, although those outposts will be a little bit of a nuisance, remember, it's not really going to stop Wham from fishing in the area. At least it shouldn't. Until he gets his hands on arrow slits. The tech up complete. Wham needs to get the first ship out. And it looks like he's saving maybe for a Bagler here. Either that or this is just a bait. Remember, the other option, he just goes to the emplacement, right? And considering he's on the stone, I think that's exactly what we're getting here. So he's going to just juice it up with the defense and essentially whittle away at these fishing boats. And this is pretty damning on this map. I want you guys to think about where the fish are, right? So, like, there's one fishing spot you'll be able to access. Everything else will be blocked out by an emplacement from this dock. Remember, the dock emplacements do more damage than the outposts are capable of. And wow, that's why he wasn't building an aggro ship. Wham, instead, is able to defend, and he might even get the villager. Oh my god, what? Honestly, the RNG on those arrows is absurd. So he went from taking, I think, like, what was that? 6 damage, and then he took 18, I think, at once. It looked like his villagers should finish it. But instead, he gets blocked out, and now, with the arrow slits in placement, I think Wham's just destroyed Beastie. Like, he's very late on the conversion onto land, right? He's going for the military school now. Meanwhile, we look in the base of Wham. He's already got racks out. He's already pushing spears. He's going to have Sanctity coming in the next probably minute and a half. Yeah, minute and a half away. I think Beastie can't even really... He's going to try to commit another villager, but... I mean, this could go just as badly because Wham sees it. Has eyeballs on, and if he just moves the Dow upriver, he can intercept, do some damage before it even gets a chance. Spears are also on the way. I think this is done, folks. I mean, Beastie has a very small runway to work with. Villager's going to move in now. With the tap of a hammer, he should be able to get it up. We'll look to Garrison, but remember, folks, spears are already now here. Health on the outpost isn't very good. I don't even think this was worth trying to reinvest in. I mean, from BC's perspective, he probably thinks he can get that outpost up. He doesn't maybe expect the spears as quickly. But now, it's just a waste. Just too much damage coming through. Villager's trying to repair, but won't get enough done. Back at home, he has got the double military school, but now only prepping the archery ranges. Now, this would be an advantage considering there's already spears shown from Wham, but as we can see, Wham's going for the Holy Trinity. All 3 unit types in Feudal will be available. That's going to cover him to set up on the sacred sites, and this is where it can get very oppressive. Usually a Civ that at the moment is laying back to more of a Castle Age timing could dominate in the Feudal now. Especially when you consider how much BC's left on the table up here. I mean, we've got, what, about 1,000? Well, way more than 1,000. We've got 2,500 food, roughly, that he can't access. And he won't be able to anytime soon. Like, the other problem that BC has is, how do you kill this dock when you've gone for the archer build? You can't, right? You don't have the torch bearers to burn it down. Wham, he can see exactly that. He scouts into the base. He gets every piece of info he needs. He's off Boogaloo in those areas. You can see he's also setting up to take all the sacred sites as quickly as possible. So what is Beastie's recourse here? Like, how can he get back in the game? He now knows the sacred sites are being captured. His army is quite small. And apparently, sorry, his chances of winning the game. He's going to call it. I mean, this is kind of Beastie at the moment, and I don't mean that negative way. This guy, he is willing to admit sometimes when it's clearly over, he's not willing to play out that 1% as much as we've seen in the past. And in fairness, I don't blame him this one. I think Wham caught him completely off guard. That dot going up a little bit earlier than he anticipated. His outpost failing to go up because of that Dow. Great little play there by Wham. I love the fact that he prioritized defense over offense because he realizes actually, you know, I need the food more than Beastie does. Beastie realistically is going to be more wood heavy, and he's probably got the Madrissa at home. So if I push him off water and that's my first action, doesn't hurt him as much. If I defend my own water, though, I get enough troops out to flood the field and get all the sacred sites. And of course, as we saw, 4 sacred sites on that map makes Delhi a pretty potent pick. So great read by Wham to prioritize his own economy over harassing his opponents. Beastie, some people are like, where's that 1% guy waiting around? I think in his mind, this kind of feels done. He sees the opening, he sees the build doesn't make much sense, and he doesn't want to waste more time. Instead, he wants to get more practice in.